What's up, people? Welcome to season 2 of Templeway Online. So this season was going to be all about revolution, right? Hence the title. All about the revolution that Jesus started. And I was pumped, I was really excited, really looking forward to talking to you all about this vitriolic revolution speak. But then I looked up what the word revolution actually means. Let me read it for you. This is according to Mr. Oxford, and you know, Mr. Oxford's always right. The number one definition for revolution is this: a forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favor of a new system. For those of you at the back who missed that and don't know how to press rewind, a forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favor of a new system. And I had that definition going over and over and over in my head, and it didn't quite fit with my earlier thoughts about what Jesus did. Like, I was convinced, I was a fervent believer that when Jesus was here, his life, his ministry, it was revolutionary. And to be sure, it was. But I'm coming to think that it wasn't actually a revolution that he was interested in starting. So there's a couple of things with that definition that really challenges what I thought and how I would have usually described Jesus' life and his ministry and his mission, really. For starters, there wasn't really anything forcible about it. Like, it wasn't forceful. I mean, if you check out episode 4 of our previous season, we speak about that. We speak about the way that those people that have really changed the world haven't done it in a forceful manner, and neither did Jesus. I also have an issue with the fact that it says that we replace the old broken system with a new system, because again, I don't think Jesus was interested in instating some other system to replace a system that was broken. In fact, when we look at Jesus' ministry and the way those around him spoke about it, the way he moved, the way he operated, the only thing they could refer to it as was the way. The only way they could think about it was the way. And when I read about it in scripture, it really sticks in my mind as people would witness him and see what he was up to and be like, yeah, that's the way things should be. Like, yeah, that's the way things should go. It wasn't so much about, he wasn't interested in challenging one system so that he could put some other system in place. It was more about challenging the system because it was wrong, because it had flaws, because it was victimizing people, because it was enslaving people. And on those merits alone, it was wrong. But I don't know if he was interested in instituting a new system. He was more interested in displaying a new way of being, a new way of living, a new way of interacting with each other, a new way of loving God. But saying that, I think there was one occasion where Jesus decided or contemplated the idea of getting real forceful with these individuals. I think there's one scene in scripture which demonstrates the fact that maybe, just maybe, Jesus entertained the idea of getting real ghetto on these people. There's a word we used to use when I was a lot younger called rago. I don't know if you ever heard this. Some of you have heard this, some of you haven't. In my generation, this word was everything. So now, for those of you who don't know, the word rags, or rago, rags for short, was a word you used when you simply didn't care anymore. So like, you decided, someone would come up to you and be like, oh, Timmy, it's 11 o'clock. Your mother said to be home at 10:30, and you'd be like, rags, I don't care. I'm a big man, I don't care. Or maybe it was a case of, you'd be at school and your teacher says, little Timmy, little Sally, have you done your homework today? You know, it was due in today. And you'll turn to her and with a stern and sincere face, you say, rago. I don't care. I don't care. And so I think Jesus had his own rago moment, this own moment where he said, you know what? These individuals, these people are getting on my nerves, and they're about to feel the full force. So here's how it went down. So the story goes that Jesus goes to the temple one day, as was his custom, and he goes into the temple, and for some reason on this occasion, it gets to him, it really annoys him what exactly is taking place. I mean, there's commerce taking place inside the temple, like there's business going on, there's money exchanging hands, there's people who are visiting Jerusalem changing their money from where they come from for the temple money. Like there's just a lot of business going on inside the temple, and it grieves him. He's upset. And I can imagine maybe he pulls to one side, and one of his disciples maybe noticed, this is me ad-libbing now, maybe one of his disciples noticed that he's upset, and they're like, what's going on, Jesus? And he just turns to them and is like, I'm upset. 50,000 is disrespect. He's just upset, yeah? He's annoyed. And you know what he does? He turns to the disciple, he goes, rags. And he just starts dashing the tables, overturning the tables, just... The text says that he has a whip. Now, I don't know where he got this whip from, but he has this whip. And he just starts whipping all the animals, like, out of the temple. Like, he just turns the temple upside down. He is mad. He displays his aggression, his anger for all to see. And the place goes nuts. And here's the thing for me. I find it interesting that this is the only occasion where Jesus behaves like this. I find it interesting that this is the only occasion really from all his life that sticks to that definition we read out earlier. This was Jesus forcibly going against the system, the religious system, and forcibly driving out what was not of God in that temple. But I imagine, and I could be wrong, but I just imagine that though fully justified, I think it's significant that he doesn't use that type of methodology or that type of approach at any other point in his ministry. All his other approaches are a lot more peaceful, a lot more analytical, a lot more conversational, a lot more calm, to put it bluntly. And it just makes me think that maybe when he went home, and again, this is me ad-libbing, maybe when he went home, maybe when he sat down, maybe when he reflected on what had just taken place in that temple, he sat there and he thought to himself, nah, this isn't what I'm here to do. Yes, I'm here to show them a new way to live, a new way to be, but I don't want to do it in that way. I'm not going to do it forcefully. I'm not going to do it with my might, with my aggression. I'm going to do it simply by displaying the way. And so, as I reflect on this and think about it, I can't help but thinking that it wasn't so much a revolution Jesus started, or even a revolution he was interested in starting. He was more interested in displaying a new way to be, a new way to be human, a new way to live, a new way to love. And that's what we're going to be exploring over this season.